Let's continue learning the making method for accessories. The accessories include the cat fabric piece, the big cat paw, the small cat paw, and the drawstring. Make them separately, and sew to attach them at their corresponding positions. Let's first learn the making method for the cat fabric piece. Here is the finished product. There are 2 kinds of cat fabric pieces, 2 pieces for each kind. After crocheting is finished, embroider decorative strands and glue on accessories. The new stitches used include single crochet decrease, single crochet 3 tog, half double crochet. Below, please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Next, let's learn the crochet method for cat fabric piece 1. Start with a chain stitch. Work back and forth along the row of the starting chain. Let's begin with casting on. Take the corresponding yarn. Wrap the yarn around your left hand. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Place it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger. Pinch the crossing point of the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten. Now start crocheting chain stitches. Continue all the way down until you reach the required number of stitches. The foundation chain is now completed. Then, begin crocheting. First, make 1 beginning chain. Then, work into the second chain from the hook. Pick up the top strand of yarn. Crochet a single crochet. Continue by picking up 1 strand from the adjacent chain stitch. Work single crochets evenly into each stitch. Complete this row all the way through. The first row is now finished. Move on to the second row. Start with 1 beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. In the stitch below and to the left of the beginning chain, make a SZ2 in 1. After completing it, pick up the adjacent stitch on the left side 1 by 1, and work single crochets. The second row is now done. Continue with the third row. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Before starting each row when crocheting back and forth, you need to turn over the piece. I won't repeat this for the following steps. Now pick up the stitches and work single crochets 1 by 1. After completing it, let's move on to making the cat's tail. First, chain 7. Then, starting from the second chain from the hook, pick up the strand above. and work 6 slip stitches correspondingly. After completion, the third row is done. The side facing us now is the right side. The starting tail of the yarn is at the bottom left corner. Later, you can identify the right and wrong sides based on the position of the starting yarn tail. Now for the fourth row. Pull up the loop to enlarge it. Take out your crochet hook. Then turn the fabric piece over. Insert the crochet hook from below into the last single crochet stitch of the third row and the previous loop. Then draw the loop through. Tighten the loop slightly and tidy up the direction of the tail. Ensure that the side with the clearer texture is facing the right side of the piece. After finishing, make one beginning chain. Then pick up stitches and work single crochets correspondingly. Finish working this row. And the fourth row will be completed. Continue crocheting rows 5 through 7. For each of these rows, start with one beginning chain, then pick up stitches and work single crochets correspondingly. Everyone can complete this section on their own. Now my swatch has finished the 7th row. When counting rows, make sure the right side of the fabric is facing you. On odd numbered rows, the texture of the single crochet shows as individual V shapes. On even numbered rows, the texture is on the back side, with a line running across the top. You can count the rows by alternating between the right and wrong sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the method for counting rows when crocheting back and forth. Here's how you do it. Now let's work on row 8. Make one beginning chain. Then work one single crochet decrease. First, work one incomplete single crochet in each of the 2 stitches on the left side. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull the yarn through. That completes one incomplete single crochet. Now insert the hook into the next stitch on the left. Yarn over, and draw the yarn through. The second incomplete single crochet is done. At this point, there are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops. That completes one SC2 tog. Next, pick up stitches and work single crochets evenly. Continue until you finish the row. That completes row 8. Now continue to row 9. Make one beginning chain. Then work one single crochet decrease. First, work one incomplete single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches on the left, hooking one incomplete single crochet into each stitch. 1, 2, yarn over and draw through all loops in one go. That completes one single crochet decrease. Next, pick up stitches and work single crochets evenly. Work all the way down to complete this row. That completes row 9. Now continue to row 10. The crochet pattern is identical to row 9. Follow the chart to complete it on your own. Once completed, move on to row 11. Refer to the chart and work correspondingly from the previous row. There will be 3 stitches remaining. When you reach the corresponding position, work 1 single crochet decrease over 3 stitches. On the next 3 stitches, work an incomplete single crochet 1 by 1. 1, 2, 3. Now there are 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook. The single crochet decrease over 3 stitches is now complete. For any future single crochet 3 to 1 decreases, refer to this demonstration for how to work it. Row 11 is now also complete. Continue referring to the chart to finish rows 12 through 14. Row 14 is now complete. Next, we will work on row 15. Make 1 beginning chain. Then pick up the stitch. Work 4 single crochets evenly into each corresponding stitch. Leave the remaining stitches unworked for now. Row 15 is now complete. Continue to work on row 16. Start with 1 beginning chain. Begin from the second stitch on the left side. Work 3 single crochets evenly into each corresponding stitch. Row 16 is now complete. Flip the piece to the right side. Continue working downward for the final round. This round will go around the outer edge of the fabric piece. Work in a counterclockwise direction. Let's start with the first stitch. Insert the hook into the second stitch from the left side. Work 1 double crochet. After completing it, insert the hook into the side of the double crochet. Near the stitch position, pick up the 2 strands of yarn. Right here, work 1 single crochet. Then pick up the side of the double crochet again. Pick up the 2 strands of yarn, near the insertion point. Work 1 single crochet. Next, on the far left single crochet stitch of row 16, work 1 single crochet. Continue by picking up the far left single crochet stitch of row 15 and work 1 single crochet. Then pick up the stitch from row 14 on the left side and work 4 single crochets correspondingly. There is 1 stitch remaining on row 14. Work 1/2 double crochet on this stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over and pull through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through all loops at once. That completes 1/2 double crochet. For any subsequent half double crochets, refer to this demonstration for crocheting. Continue with 2 chain stitches. Then on the side of the half double crochet, work 2 single crochets roughly evenly. After completing, pick the insertion point of the half double crochet and work 1 single crochet. Move downward, starting from row 13. Pick the leftmost stitch from each row below. Work single crochets correspondingly in each stitch. The number of single crochets is based on the chart. After finishing, skip row 4 and do not work. Start from the tail. Pick the strand above the slip stitch braid. This is the strand right here. Work 6 single crochets correspondingly. After completing, work 2 chain stitches. Rotate the piece. Start picking up the remaining 2 strands from the chain stitches. Work 6 single crochets correspondingly. Then, continue starting from row 3. Pick up the left stitch, and work 3 single crochets correspondingly. Next, rotate the piece with the edge where you cast on facing up. Insert the hook into the placement for the second single crochet of row 1. Work single crochets correspondingly. Crochet all the way down to row 1. At the insertion point of the second stitch in row 1. Once you reach the corresponding position, rotate the piece with the right edge facing up. Starting from row 1. Pick up the far right stitch from each row. Work single crochets evenly. Continue all the way through row 16. After completing, insert the hook into the first double crochet stitch of the last round, which is right here. Work 1 single crochet, then make 2 chain stitches. Next, insert the hook into the side of the double crochet and join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Secure the yarn tail and cut the yarn, leaving a 40 cm tail. Use it for sewing. This completes the first cat fabric piece. Next, let's embroider the decorative strands on the tail of the first cat fabric piece. Both sides of the body, both sides of the face, and on the forehead and ear tips, patterns need to be embroidered. Take a long yarn tail that matches the corresponding yarn, thread it into the needle. Tie a knot at the end of the thread. I've prepared this part in advance. Insert the needle from the wrong side of the fabric piece and exit at the edge just above the base of the tail. Don't pull the yarn all the way through. Insert it back into the edge below. Pass the needle through the loop where the knot is tied once. Gently tighten it slightly. The yarn end is now secured. The first pattern is also embroidered. Continue on the left side of the tail. Embroider 2 patterns evenly. After completing, weave the yarn on the wrong side following the texture, and transition it to the left side from bottom to top, at about the 1/3 position. The exact position can also be adjusted according to your preference. Exit through the edge of the single crochet stitch. Insert again about 2 single crochet stitches to the right. The length of the line can also be adjusted based on your preference. Repeat this process. Sew another pattern in the same stitch. This way, one of the patterns on the cat's body is complete. Move up to the next row, and come out on the left side. Insert about 3 single crochets to the right. Repeat this step. The second pattern is also finished this way. Move up 2 more rows. Follow the same method. Sew 1 more pattern. That completes another stripe. The length is about 2 single crochets. Now the 3 stripes on the left side of the cat are done. Next, embroider 3 stripes on the left side of the face. Evenly sew 3 lines near the left edge, each about 2 single crochets long. Here, each position is only sewn once. After completing this step, take the yarn to the wrong side, and transition it to the tip of the left ear. Come out with the needle at this point. That's where you exit the needle. Embroider 3 to 4 short lines downward. The insertion point below the short lines should be spaced a certain distance apart. After completing the lines, form a small triangle at the tip of the ear. Then transition the thread to the right, toward the middle of the forehead. And exit the needle from the edge. Embroider 3 short lines downward. The length of these 3 lines is roughly the same. The third line can be slightly higher. This completes the embroidery of the forehead pattern. For the right ear, the embroidery method for the face and body patterns is identical to the left side. Pay attention. The body pattern is embroidered twice for each line, while all other areas are embroidered only once. After completion, secure and weave in the ends on the wrong side. Everyone, please embroider them by yourself. Next, let's embroider the eyes. Take the corresponding yarn, thread it into the sewing needle. Insert the needle from the back side of the fabric piece, and bring it out below the left side of the forehead pattern. Insert it again 1 to 2 stitches to the right. Gently pull to tighten the yarn tail. Leave a 10 cm tail end without pulling it completely through. Bring the needle out again 1 to 2 stitches further to the right. Then continue moving to the right. Insert the needle into the position 1 row above, about 1 to 2 stitches across. Gently pull to tighten. Now both eyes are embroidered. Take the end of the thread and the previously left tail. Tie 2 knots on the wrong side. Then leave a length of 1 cm. Trim off any excess yarn. The eyes are now sewn in place. Finally, take the alcohol glue and 2 pom-poms. Dip the pom-poms into the glue. Attach them in the middle of the eyes, about 2 rows apart below. Up to this point, fabric piece 1 of the cat is completed. Make another piece using the same method. Next, let's learn how to make fabric piece 2 of the cat. First, crochet rows 1 through 13. The stitch technique for this part is quite simple. The tail is crocheted in row 1. You can complete them by referring to the chart instructions on your own. Don't cut the yarn after finishing. Now I'll demonstrate the final round using this sample swatch. The technique for the last circle. Start crocheting from the left edge. The working method is similar to fabric piece 1 of the cat. Follow the pattern and crochet counterclockwise until you finish row 12. The single crochet on the far right. Once you reach the corresponding position on the first single crochet stitch of row 13, crochet 1 single crochet and 1/2 double crochet. Then, on the left stitch, crochet 1 double crochet and 1 treble crochet. After completing that, crochet 2 chains. Then on the side of the treble crochet, evenly crochet 2 single crochets. Next, at the insertion point of the treble crochet, crochet 1 single crochet, moving downward on the 3 single crochet stitches on the left. Crochet 1 single crochet on each. Then, on the left stitch, crochet 1/2 double crochet and 1 double crochet. And 1 treble crochet. After completing, crochet 2 chains. Then on the side of the treble crochet, evenly crochet 2 single crochets. Then crochet 1 single crochet on the left stitch. Finally, on the left stitch, which is the first single crochet stitch of this circle, join with a slip stitch. Secure the yarn tail. Leave a yarn tail about 40 centimeters long and cut the yarn. The second cat fabric piece is now completed. Next, let's embroider the decorative strands. I'll explain using a sample swatch with embroidered decorations. You will also need to sew on the tail, both sides of the body and face, the pointed shape of the ears and the forehead. The technique is the same as for the first cat fabric piece. The positions are slightly different. Pay attention. The 3 decorative strands on the forehead are aligned. The patterns on both sides of the body need to be embroidered twice. All other positions are embroidered only once, and there's no need to embroider the eyes. Refer to the actual project for embroidery or customize according to your preference. Complete this section accordingly. The embroidery method for the decorative strands is as follows. That concludes the explanation. Next, I'll demonstrate the installation method for the needlepoint eyes. Take 1 sequin, 1 needlepoint eye, and some alcohol glue. Apply a little glue to the concave side of the sequin. Then insert the needlepoint eye into the circular hole at the center of the sequin. Finally, apply a small amount of glue to the tail of the needlepoint eye. Insert the needlepoint eye below the decorative strand on the left side of the forehead, about 1 stitch to the left. Secure the eye in place. On the wrong side of the fabric, use scissors to bend the inserted part of the needlepoint eye downward. Press it firmly. One eye is now installed. The method for installing the second eye is identical. The insertion position is on the right side of the first eye, spaced by 3 to 4 single crochets. The second eye is now also installed below, in the row under the middle between the two eyes. Attach 2 pom-poms. Up to this point, the making method for fabric piece 2 of cat has been fully explained. Make one more in the same way. Next, let's learn how to make the big cat paw. Take a look at the finished product. There are 2 big cat paws. And their crocheting methods are identical. Both start by crocheting the main part and the paw pad separately. Then, the big cat paw pad is sewn onto the corresponding position of the main part. The new stitches used include double crochet increase. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Let's start with the main part of the big cat paw. Take the corresponding yarn. Begin with the magic ring. Then, make 1 beginning chain. Next, in the large hole of the magic ring, crochet the required number of single crochets. After completing, close the loop. Join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. The first round is now completed. Move on to round 2. Start with 1 chain. Then, in the joining position of the previous round, crochet 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. Next, on the left stitch, crochet 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. Below that, on the left stitch, crochet 1 single crochet. Then, on the left stitch again, crochet 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. Continue on the left stitch. Crochet 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. Then make 1 chain. In the last half double crochet's insertion position, join with a slip stitch. Leave the remaining stitches unworked for now. Secure the tail and fasten off the yarn. The second round is now completed. Move on to round 3. For this round, you need to change colors while crocheting. Take the corresponding yarn. On the left side of the ending position of round 2, join the yarn in this stitch. Then make 1 beginning chain. In this stitch, work 1 SZ2 in 1. Next, on the left stitch, work 1 double crochet increase. That means, in the same stitch, crochet 2 double crochets. One, 2. 1 double crochet increase is completed. Continue on the next 4 stitches. And work 1 double crochet increase in each stitch. After completing them, work 1 SZ2 in 1 on the left stitch. Next, on the stitches of round 2, Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitches. Finally, on the first single crochet stitch of this round, join with a slip stitch. The third round is now completed. Move on to the fourth round. Start by working one slip stitch on the left stitch. Then crochet one chain stitch. In the same position, work one half double crochet and one double crochet. Next, in the left stitch, work one treble crochet. Then, in the left stitch again. Work one double crochet and one half double crochet. Then, make one chain stitch. We will treat the 8 stitches we just crocheted from the slip stitch to this last chain stitch as one finger. Now, crochet another finger below it. Start with one slip stitch in the left stitch. Then, make one chain stitch. In the same position, work one half double crochet and one double crochet. Work one treble crochet in the left stitch. Again, in the left stitch, work one double crochet and one half double crochet. Then, make one chain stitch. The second finger is now completed. Repeat this process to crochet 2 more fingers. Once done, at the insertion point of the last half double crochet, join with a slip stitch. Secure the yarn tail. Leave a yarn tail of about 40 centimeters, then cut the yarn. The fourth round is now complete. Repeat this method to crochet 1 more. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the main part of the large cat paw has been explained. Let's take a look at the finished product. The large cat paw pad. After casting on with an adjustable magic ring, in the large hole of the magic ring, crochet the corresponding number of single crochets. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Tighten and secure the yarn tail. Then leave a 15 centimeters yarn tail before cutting the yarn. The method is relatively simple. Everyone, refer to the chart and complete the required number of large cat paw pads. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the large cat paw pads has been explained. Take the main piece and one paw pad. The side with the clearer texture is the right side. Place both pieces right side facing up. Position the paw pad on top of the main piece. Align it so that one edge is close to the edge of the main piece. Below, use the long yarn tail from the paw pad. Sew it onto the main piece. Here we use the whip stitch method for sewing. Pass the needle through the 2 strands of the stitch at the edge of the paw pad. And sew it together with the main piece. After sewing, tuck the starting yarn tail to the wrong side. Tie both yarn tails together and secure it. Leave a 1 cm yarn tail. Cut off any excess yarn. One paw pad is now sewn on. Then, using the same method, sew the paw pads onto the remaining 3 fingers. The sewing method for the other large cat paw is also the same. You can sew them up on your own. Up to this point, the method for making the large cat paws has been fully explained. Next, we will learn how to make the small cat paws. Let's take a look at the finished product. There are 4 small cat paws, and their making methods are identical. They consist of the main part, the small cat paw pads, and embroidery. The main part of each small cat paw is crocheted separately, and the small cat paw pads. Then, take the paw pads, and sew them onto the corresponding positions on the main part. Embroider on the fingers afterward. Finally, fold it in half and sew it onto the drawstring. Below, please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. First, let's learn how to crochet the main part of the small cat paw. The crocheting method uses a chain cast on. Crochet in rounds along the starting chain row. Take the corresponding yarn. Start with a chain of the corresponding number of stitches. Refer to the stitch count in the chart. After completing the starting chain, begin the first round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then insert the hook into the top loop of the second chain from the hook with 1 strand of yarn. Work single crochets evenly into each stitch. After completing, crochet 2 more single crochets in the same position as the last single crochet. Work 2 additional single crochets. Once done, rotate the piece. Bring the starting edge upward. Continue by picking up the remaining 2 strands of the left side chain. This is the insertion point for the single crochets on this side. Work single crochets evenly into each stitch. Keep going until you finish the second single crochet in the braid of this round. When you reach the corresponding position, work 2 single crochets into the left chain. Finally, on the stitch of the first single crochet, join with a slip stitch. The first round is now completed. Move on to the second round. The stitch pattern for this round is simple. Refer to the chart and finish this round. After completing it, join with a slip stitch in the stitch of the first stitch. Pull tight, secure the yarn tail, and cut the yarn. That concludes the crocheting method for the second round. My swatch has already completed the second round. Next, let's move on to the third round. For this round, at both ends of the oval-shaped piece, work 4 small stitches. The small stitches at both ends require you to rejoin the yarn separately to crochet. The joining positions are both at. For the second round, work 3 half double crochets into the stitch farthest on the left. Then into the second stitch from the left. After completing the fingers on one end, move on to the other end. The crocheting method is similar to the larger finger stitches. You can refer to the previous demonstration. Refer to the chart to complete them. After finishing, leave a yarn tail of about 50 centimeters for sewing together. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the kitten paw's main body has been explained. Next, we will learn the crocheting method for the kitten paw pads. Let's take a look at the finished product. The kitten paw pad starts with an adjustable magic ring. Then, in the large space of the magic ring, crochet the corresponding stitches. After completing the crocheting, leave a yarn tail of about 50 centimeters, used for sewing and embroidery. Sew onto the first 2 rounds of the kitten paw piece, on the side without the slip stitches, with the right side facing up. When sewing, make sure the right side of the fabric is facing up. Align one of the small protrusions with the middle position between the 4 fingers at the edge of the second round from the bottom. Use the whip stitch method to sew it together. The technique is the same as the one used for sewing the adult cat paw pad. Everyone should crochet the kitten paw pads yourself and sew them onto the corresponding positions. After sewing, bring the 2 threads to the back side and continue with the embroidery. I'll use this small sample to demonstrate the embroidery technique. Here, you need to embroider 3 French knots on each finger. Start by embroidering on the finger at the far right. Begin with the finger on the far right. The needle comes out below the double crochet stitch on the right side of the finger. Exit. Pull tight. Wrap the yarn around the sewing needle twice. Use your left hand to gently pinch the thread. Then insert the needle back in close to the exit point. Bring the needle out through the loop and fabric piece. Gently pull the thread. Tighten it. 1 French knot is now embroidered. Continue and embroider 1 on its left side. The needle comes out at an adjacent position on the left. Wrap the thread around the needle twice. Pinch the yarn tail with your left hand. Insert the needle backward again. Pull the needle out through the loop and the fabric piece. Gently pull to tighten the thread. The second French knot is now embroidered. Continue in the middle position below these 2 French knots. Embroider another French knot. This way, the embroidery on one finger is completed. Following the same method, continue to embroider on the next 3 fingers on the left side. After finishing each finger, pass the thread through the backside along the texture. Transition to the next embroidery position before starting again. The fingers on the other side do not need to be embroidered. You can complete the remaining parts by yourselves. I will not repeat the demonstration. Finally, take the 2 yarn tails. Tie a knot on the wrong side to secure and fasten off the yarn. This way, one little cat paw is completed. Everyone can follow the same method to finish making the remaining cat paws. Up to this point, the making method for the cat paws has been fully explained. Next, we will crochet the drawstring. There are 2 drawstrings in total. Each one is crocheted separately. Let's start with the first one. Take the corresponding yarn from the center of the skein and the outside. Pull out the yarn at the same time. Take either yarn tail and make a slip knot. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail. Wrap the yarn around your left hand. Hold the crochet hook with your right hand. Insert the hook into the slip knot. Adjust it slightly. Place the other yarn tail upwards onto the crochet hook. Mind that this yarn tail shouldn't be too tight. Yarn over and draw through both loops once. Continue placing the yarn. Yarn over again. Pull through these 2 loops. Then continue in the same manner. Keep crocheting downward. Crochet until you reach the desired length. Once completed, leave both tails about 5 cm and cut them off. Pull the yarn through the loop and tighten it. For now, don't deal with the beginning and ending tails. The drawstring is now crocheted. The length of my sample swatch is shorter. When you crochet for real, refer to the chart and crochet to the corresponding length. Crochet 2 identical drawstrings on your own. Up to this point, the demonstration of the drawstring crochet method is complete. Next, we will assemble all the finished parts and sew the D-ring. Then attach the strap. Let's start by sewing the large paw. I'll demonstrate the sewing technique using my sample. Here's how you can sew it. Take the large paw. Locate section 3 of the bag body. Place the slip stitch positions from the first round of section 3 on one side. Follow the sewing position below the fabric piece of section 2 and lay it flat for sewing. Flatten the bag body. Sew the large paw onto section 3. About 2 rows away from the edge at the bottom. Position it roughly centered. For convenience in sewing, first secure the paw in the corresponding position. Take another long yarn tail and thread it through the sewing needle. After placing the paw in the correct position, roughly sew a few stitches through both fabric pieces. Do not pull the yarn tail out completely. There are no specific requirements for the insertion points here, as these stitches will be removed later. Once it's secured properly, use the backstitch method to sew. Thread the reserved yarn tail from the large paw into the sewing needle. Insert the needle from the left stitch next to the yarn tail position, and bring it out toward the front of the fabric piece. Then go back from the left stitch, passing through the stitch and section 3 of the bag body. Note: do not sew into the other side of the bag body. Then move left and pass through section 3 and the left stitch of the large paw. Bring the needle out. Sew around the entire circle using this method. This is one of the large paws. It's what it looks like after sewing is complete. Pick up loops from the wrong side. Secure the yarn tail and fasten off. Then remove the yarn tail used to hold the fabric piece in place. Use the same method for the other large paw, sewing it onto the corresponding position on the other side of the bag body. Finish it yourself. That concludes the sewing method for the large paws. Next, let's sew the cat fabric piece. Here is the finished product. The cat fabric piece is sewn onto section 2 of the bag body, which is a square-shaped fabric piece. Cat fabric piece 1 is centered and sewn onto the right side fabric piece. Cat fabric piece 2 is centered and sewn onto the left side fabric piece. The position is identical on the other side. It's also sewn using the backstitch method. Before sewing, roughly secure it in place first, then sew. Everyone can refer to the method used for sewing the large cat paw. You can stitch them up on your own. After finishing the cat fabric piece, we will sew section 1 and section 2 of the bag body next. The sewing method is whip stitch. I'll demonstrate the sewing method with a sample swatch. For convenience in sewing, secure section 1 and section 2 of the bag body first, roughly holding them in place. Take another yarn tail and thread it through the sewing needle. Insert the needle into the center of the circular arc section in section 1. and the side of the bag body. These are the sewing positions for the two fabric pieces. Tie a knot with the yarn tail. This will secure this side of the bag body. Following the same method, secure the other side as well. The center positions of the two straight lines in section 1 can also be secured using the same method. Secure the remaining two sewing positions. Now let's start sewing. Take another long yarn tail. The color of the yarn here should be identical to the edge of section 2. Tie a knot with the threaded yarn tail. Begin sewing from the secured position on the side of the bag body. Insert the needle from behind to the front, passing through the securing spot. Close to the back, take the first yarn strand. Don't pull the yarn all the way through. Then pass it through the sewing position toward the back. Insert the needle once through the loop where the knot is tied. Pull tight. Place the knotted part on the inside of the bag body. Then sew according to the pattern of one stitch to another, connecting the two secured positions. Always pick up the strand of yarn closest to the wrong side for each stitch. Use this method to sew the stitches together. If the number of stitches on both sides doesn't match, you can work on the side with fewer stitches. Take one stitch loop and sew it twice to 2 loops from the other side. Adjust using this process. The sewing method between each section is identical. During the sewing process, if the yarn tail isn't long enough, secure the end by tying a knot on the wrong side after finishing the seam. Then take another yarn tail, and continue in the same way. Continue sewing. Everyone, follow this method to sew the entire circle. After completing the sewing, pick the seam thread from section 1 and section 2. Tie it off to secure. Then take the tail and pass it to the inner side of the bag body. Weaving in the ends on the wrong side. Finally, remove the securing sewing thread. This is what the bag body looks like after sewing section 1 and section 2 together. Here's the completed seam. Next, we'll attach the drawstring. I'll demonstrate using a sample swatch. Take the bag body and one drawstring. Locate the side of section 4 on the bag body. Find the large holes on the left side of the 4 treble crochets. Pass the drawstring through to the back. Then bring it forward through the large hole on the left. Now pass it back through the large hole on the left again. Continue repeating this process, passing the drawstring to the back. Until it exits from the last large hole. Adjust the exposed part of the drawstring. Making sure the lengths on both ends are roughly the same. This way, one drawstring is properly threaded. The other drawstring starts from the large holes on the left side of the 4 treble crochets on the opposite side. The method is identical to the first one. It's the same technique as for the first drawstring. You can do it yourself. Next, let's sew the kitten paw. Take one of the kitten paw pieces. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Fold the piece in half along the center HDC stitches. The excess tail can be hidden inside the folded piece. Then use the whip stitch method to sew the outer edge of the paw along the stitches. It's the same process of picking up stitches, sew close to one thread on the wrong side. Start sewing from the HDC position on this side. When you're almost done with the second small finger, take out the body piece. Insert one end of any drawstring into the center of the kitten paw. Place it at the center position of the paw. Then continue sewing downward. When sewing the center position, pass through the drawstring a few times. This will secure the paw onto the drawstring. Continue sewing around to complete this round. Once done, let's shape the kitten paw. Insert the needle through the middle of the fabric piece and bring it out between the two fingers at the second round stitch. Exit from the second round of stitches. Then insert the needle from the corresponding position into the second round stitch on the other side, passing through the piece between them. Then go back under the next two fingers below. Exit through the second round of stitches. Gently pull to tighten the yarn tail. Between the first two fingers, a line will form when tightened. This makes the kitten paw look fuller. Repeat this process to sew between the other two fingers as well. Sew that area up nicely. Finally, pass the yarn tail between the fabric pieces. Exit near the position of the half double crochets in the second round. Pick up the sewing thread and tie a knot to secure it. Pass the yarn tail through the fabric pieces one more time. Trim off the excess tail. One little kitten paw is now sewn on. Follow the same method too. Sew the remaining kitten paws. Up to this point, the sewing technique for the kitten paws has been fully explained. Next, sew D-rings onto both sides of the bag body. Let's take a look at the finished product. Locate one side, where the drawstring comes out through 2 holes. Below the treble crochets between these holes. Count down 5 rounds of single crochets. This is where you sew on the D-ring. I'll demonstrate the process using a sample swatch. Since the sample has fewer rounds, this will only demonstrate the technique. Refer to the finished product for the exact sewing position. Take a long tail and thread it through the sewing needle. When actually sewing, use the same color as section 3 of the bag body. Pass the needle out from the corresponding position. Don't pull the yarn tail all the way through. Leave a tail about 5 centimeters long on the inside of the bag. Then, pass the needle through the D-ring. Bring it back through the fabric piece again. Pass the needle through the D-ring once. Repeat this process, sewing from right to left. Then sew back again. Finally, bring the thread to the wrong side. Tie a double knot with the beginning and ending tails. Secure it well. The D-ring is now sewn on. Hide the tail ends on the wrong side. Use the same method for the other D-ring. Mindful that the 2 D-rings must be symmetrical. The method is quite simple. I will not repeat the demonstration. Please finish sewing them on your own. After completing the sewing, take out the strap. Attach the strap directly to the D-ring. That concludes the explanation of installing the D-ring and strap. Up to this point, the making method for this bag is complete. That concludes the entire explanation. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.